Welcome, language adventurers. Today, we're diving into a quest to unlock a real-life superpower, the ability to think directly in English. Seriously, we're not talking about just memorizing rules. We're talking about rewiring your brain so that speaking English feels effortless and natural. So, let's get started. Okay, first, let me ask you a quick question. When you want to say something in English, does your brain do this little dance where it finds the words in your native language first and then translates them one by one? Yeah? Don't worry, that's super common. But that slow, kind of frustrating mental translation, that's exactly what we're going to conquer today. So, our quest, our main goal, is to completely bypass that translation step. We want to get you to that amazing, almost magical point where your thoughts and your words just happen in English automatically. No lag, no delay, just pure, fluent thought. I know, it sounds like a superpower, right? But believe me, the path to get there isn't some ancient hidden secret. It's actually a pretty clear journey with 5 key trials. And if you follow these steps, you'll absolutely get there. You'll be thinking in English without even, well, thinking about it.
Every great adventure has to start somewhere. And for us, that means we're going right back to the very basics. Think about how you learned your first language as a kid. It all started with the simple building blocks, right? Individual words and then little sentences. That's where we begin.
So, in this first part of our quest, there are 2 skills you need to master. You can think of them like the first 2 spells in your language learning spell book. First, we have the spell of word identification, and second, the art of silent narration. Let's break down exactly what that means.
All right, let's cast that first spell right now. Seriously, just look around the room you're in. What do you see? Start pointing and naming things in English. Chair, lamp, computer. Easy, right? But here's the crucial part of the spell. What do you do when you don't know the word? Let's say you see a paperclip. Do not look up the translation. Instead, you have to describe it using the English you already know. Something like, it's that small metal thing for holding papers together. Write that down. This one little trick forces your brain to solve problems in English.
Okay, spell number 2, silent narration. Now that you're naming things, let's add some action. All you have to do is narrate what's happening around you, in your head, using simple sentences. I am drinking coffee. That dog is barking. The sun is shining. You see what this does? It forces you to move from just nouns to using verbs to start building real thoughts. And just like before, if there's an action you can't describe, you just make a note of it and look it up later. So, you're getting good at identifying objects and narrating the world around you. It's time to level up. This next stage of our quest is all about taking those skills and putting them together to actually find your voice and start practicing real conversations.
Now, I gotta warn you, this next technique might feel a little odd at first. As our source material puts it, it might sound like something a crazy person would do. But trust me on this one, it's one of the most powerful tools you have. It's called self-conversation. And yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. You have conversations with yourself, either out loud or just in your head. Ask yourself a question and then answer it. So, what are your plans for the weekend? Well, I think I'm going to see a movie. It feels silly, but what you're actually doing is training your brain for the back and forth flow of a real conversation.
But here's the thing. Practicing by yourself is only one half of the equation. Self-conversation is fantastic for figuring out what you don't know, the words you're missing, the grammar that feels tricky, but then you need some external feedback to learn the correct way to say it. That's where a teacher or a language partner or a class is absolutely essential. You use your solo practice to find the gaps, and then you work with someone else to fill them in correctly.
Okay, you've built your foundation, you're practicing your skills. Now it's time for the final and most powerful stage of the quest, immersion. This is where you really make the leap. You stop just studying English and you start living in it.
And listen, you do not have to buy a plane ticket for this to work. The key, and I love how our source puts this, is to create your own fake England or fake America right where you are. To build an English-speaking world for yourself at home.
So, how do you actually do that? You just weave English into the little, boring parts of your day. Instead of your normal alarm, wake up to an English radio station. When you're making dinner, pull up a recipe from an English website like BBC Good Food and narrate what you're doing. Okay, now I am chopping the onions. Watch the news in English in the morning. You could even throw a dinner party where the one rule is, we only speak English. It's this constant, everyday exposure that really makes the new language stick.
All right, so you've been on this quest. You've been practicing the spells. You've been immersing yourself. How do you know when you've finally arrived? How do you know it's working? Well, the signs are pretty cool, and sometimes they show up when you least expect them.
The first reward is something you have zero control over. You'll go to sleep one night and you'll start dreaming in English. This is such a cool sign because it means the language isn't just a tool you use when you're awake anymore. It's actually become a part of your subconscious.
Reward number 2 is a huge milestone. You'll actually start to get jokes in English. I mean, think about it. Understanding humor is so much more than just knowing words. You need to understand culture and timing and wordplay. So when you find yourself laughing at an English TV show without needing subtitles, you'll know you've hit a whole new level.
And the third sign. This is the real magic moment. You'll just be walking down the street or washing the dishes, and you'll suddenly realize that your inner monologue, the little voice in your head, has been chattering away entirely in English for the last 5 or 10 minutes. You didn't even tell it to. It just happened. That's when you know it's become automatic. But maybe the absolute strangest, most definite sign that you've completed the quest is this. You'll be speaking your native language, and you'll completely forget a word, but you'll know it perfectly in English. It's such a bizarre feeling, but it's the ultimate proof that your brain is now so comfortable with English that it sometimes grabs a word from there first.
So, there you have it. From just naming a chair in your room all the way to forgetting words in your own language, the path to thinking in English is a real, achievable journey. We've given you the map. The only question left is, when are you going to start your quest?